So, where are we at? Okay, episode 7. There we go. Hey everybody, what's going on? My name is Arman Vakili, and I would like to welcome you to episode 7 of the #everythingmoney show, where we talk about everything that has to do with money. And today's episode is going to be a little bit of a meta episode. And so, Deji, sidebar. Deji, when they say meta, they're talking about metaphysical, right? When they say it's a meta conversation, I don't want to use it in the wrong...
It's it's like within something.
Okay, so I don't know.
I think that's
know.
right.
So this is gonna be a macro conversation. It's gonna be like a really big picture conversation, okay?
Macro.
And it's something that I want you to really understand, because a lot of people ask me, hey, so I tell them, hey, I'm in finance. They're like, okay, so what's gonna happen with the stock market? And it's like, I want you to understand how the markets in general, the global markets in general, how they actually get affected by human nature, right? Because we are the people, we are the creatures that drive the economy. It's through us and through the things that we need and we want and we desire. Through those things, different companies are formed and certain companies go out of business. And it's all based on what caters to the human species in that specific period of time. So, how human nature drives the global economy is the conversation that I want to have with you today. One of the things that's very innate to human beings is what? Procreation, right? And so offsprings, and then making sure the offspring survive and thrive and have a good life, right? So there have been companies that have been built around that process in our lives, diaper companies, baby food companies, all this different kind of stuff. And now, with the new breed of babies that are coming out, these kids are coming out of the womb with a cell phone in their hands. So it's like there's certain things that are going to be developed for the much younger generation that are going to end up impacting the world in a very tremendous way, because what? Everybody has babies, right? And so if you're an investor and you're just doing your job and reading and looking into different companies that are coming up and so on and so forth, you want to pay attention to stuff like that. And if you notice that there's a company that has this revolutionary way that they feed babies, or there's this company that has this revolutionary gadget that helps babies study and learn that's specific for them, so on and so forth, like whatever that may be, it would be a good idea to invest in that company at the very beginning, right? And actually if you get a chance to be an angel investor, awesome. If you get a chance to buy prior to the company going IPO, awesome. But if you get a chance to buy the company as soon as it files IPO, that's awesome too. So it's like, you want to be able to invest into something like that, right? So procreation, just that general part, that very, very basic human element, right? That's one part of it. The second part of it is survival, right? Human beings, from the very, very beginning, we wanted to survive, right? We needed to survive. And survival is completely different than procreation. So survival, so the inventions that came around and the companies that were built around the philosophy of survival, or the paradigm of survival for human beings, is the electric companies, gas companies, the construction companies that started building buildings for us, versus being in a hut, in a mud hut, you know what I mean, or being in a house that you built yourself out of sticks and bricks and whatever it may be. So all of these things were developed through this whole necessity for us to survive. Guns, right? Guns were developed. They say war is a very profitable business, and guns and weapons and all of these things were developed for survival, right? And a lot of people will argue then that going to war and declaring war is not necessarily a survival thing. I don't want to get into the politics of it, but there were companies that were created around that. If you wanted to take all of the political BS out of it, there was somebody who created a company that said, hey, listen, if there are tigers that are coming to your house and killing you, I have a weapon that you can kill the tiger with. And I'm pretty sure that this was a conversation that actually happened at some point in the human species. And so they developed what they needed to develop to protect themselves against tigers and protect themselves against all of these animals that would kill them, right? Because human beings are weak creatures, right? And so that's the one part of it. The other piece is thriving. So there's surviving, and then there's thriving. And thriving is, then you start seeing these companies that were developed around the whole idea of luxury. and you see luxury cars, or you see luxury homes, luxury watches, luxury food, right? So food has even been broken down into different categories, right? And then you have the lower class and poverty category foods, and then you have the middle class and upper middle class foods. Then you have the really, really high end families that probably have their own personal chef, you know what I mean? Or they only buy whole foods, or they only buy organic, whatever it may be. So food has even been broken down into different categories, and there are different companies. And so again, if you're looking at it as an investor, if we wanted to go back to the survival thing, if you're looking at it as an investor, maybe you want to look at it. Maybe you want to look at Elon Musk's new invention of that he's trying to go into the battery business, right? That's a survival thing that he's trying to create for us. And Elon Musk in general, all of his companies were designed around the concept of making sure the human species survives, because we've put ourselves in a situation with global warming and with everything else that's happening that we may potentially be killed off as a species. So he's trying to figure out, maybe we can move to different planets, maybe we can set it up so that global warming doesn't hurt us as much, whatever it may be, right? So that again, and that's a company that he's built around that you can go ahead and invest in if you wanted to. And then the last piece of it, and then obviously we talked about thriving, and so you have the obviously that part's easy. It's like the Mercedes and the Ferraris and the Rolexes and the whatever, organic food companies, all of these things. You can invest in these companies. If I were you, if you're into watches, I would subscribe to Rolex's website and their social media accounts and keep up with them when they say, hey, we're about to release a new watch. If they release a new watch and it's going to be a really big deal and they have all these different celebrities attached to it, then most likely the stock of the company is going to go up. So if you haven't bought, maybe you want to buy, because you know that because of that new release, as soon as the release happens, the stock of the company is going to go up. So it's so simple, almost it's ridiculous. But you just think about it and you study, right? That's the part of it. You just have to study so you can understand your market. And the last part of it is we want to evolve. This can easily go into a religious conversation, because some people will say, hey, you know what, human beings were born perfect and we were created perfectly. Other people will say we were evolved from different species and we became who we became, and there were the Neanderthals and there was the caveman and fast forward and we're in the modern era. There's a lot of screaming happening. I have no idea what's going on outside. And I feel like that's being picked up by everything. I'm talking about Neanderthals and somebody outside starts screaming. That was scripted. We did that on purpose. Yeah, look, I have no idea what's happening outside. I almost want to kind of be able to kill the video, but I think we have to keep going. And all right, so anyway, so evolving, right? So the last piece of it is evolving, right? And human beings, we evolved out of caves into huts. We evolved out of huts into more advanced huts, and we evolved out of that into brick houses, and we evolved out of that into fast forward to where we are right now. And we are going to keep evolving. If we don't kill ourselves, which I don't think we will, I think the new generation, and I think there's enough people that really love human beings as a species that would like for us to survive. So if we don't kill ourselves, we're going to end up evolving very tremendously. And the last piece, obviously, is the tech market and the internet and the apps and smart TVs and smart everything and all of these things that are being designed by technicians and engineers and scientists and all of these things that are going to be amazing businesses. Facebook was a $10 domain name that ended up becoming the most powerful company in the world. You need to understand that. As far as an investment is being concerned, the first guy that invested that original $1 million into Facebook and got that first 10%, that was the smartest investment that guy has made. And he's made hundreds of millions of dollars, not billions of dollars, because of that investment into such a simple idea, or not really a simple idea, but a website, right? So, understanding human nature, studying human nature, and making the connection of what the human nature will translate into business, how a business will come out of a certain need, or the business that has been created because of a certain need, being able to determine of whether or not that business is going to succeed long term is understanding human nature. So I think that obviously, so it's such a very deep topic, and you have to study so much about it and read so much into it that I feel like it's not fair for me to cover it in 10 minutes, but I think it gave you enough so that you can know where to look and where to actually go for information and what to look for. So leave questions and comments below. I would love to know what you're going to hear about this or what you're going to think about this. I would love to hear what you're going to think about this. And I want to be able to respond to your comments and questions and all this different kind of stuff and just customize content and really be able to clarify as much as I possibly can for you, because this was a pretty broad topic. So I want to be able to answer as many specifics as possible as well. My name is Arman Vakili. This was episode 7 of the #EverythingMoney show. I hope you enjoyed it. Share it with your friends and family. Subscribe to the channel. Do all the good things that you know you're supposed to do. Like the video. Leave a comment below. And then right after the video is over, all my personal social media is going to come up. So if you want to follow me, we can do that as well. And I would much appreciate it. I think that's pretty much it. Am I missing anything? I pretty much... Snapchat. Add me on Snap. Social media. It's the biggest logo. That when the thing goes on, it's the yellow logo. You got to do that. You either take a picture of the logo and add it on Snapchat, or just find my username or find my name. Whatever. Just figure it out. Google it. Jeez. Stop the recording. Let's go. Let's go.